Welcome back, guys, to the channel of my FTMO journey. I appreciate you stopping by every single week. The support is absolutely unreal. I really do appreciate all the comments I get every single week. It means the absolute world to me that people still watch this, even though I know it's been going on for a very long time. Now, it's currently Friday, 5 p.m, actually on the dot, and I've got home from work a couple hours ago. I was actually working while NFP took place, and I was actually in a trade today. And I closed it at around 10 a.m. while I was on break at my shift, just because I wouldn't be able to check back at the charts while I was working for the rest of that time to make sure my position was basically okay. Now, I did close it early, obviously, just randomly. Well, not randomly. It was to protect myself based on NFP coming out in a couple of hours, because NFP, I mean, not only you get lots of volatility, but the spreads increase a lot. So I may get wicked out when on the chart it doesn't even look like it came and touched me. Basically, I was 2-1 up at that current moment I closed, so I got a little bit of profit on that trade, but I did lose a trade the day before that one. So I'll show you the FTMO account a little bit later on to show you the actual stats of it and if I've gained or lost anything this week, basically. Now, I've been feeling a little bit down today, I must admit, and the reason being is because there was a trade on Euro Aussie, which I saw at, it actually executed at about 7 p.m. or 6:45-ish last night, and I saw the setup come up, but I didn't take the trade. Now, this sort of annoys me, because in hindsight, if I look back at it, it's actually a 1-to-9 risk to reward. And this trade, I wasn't 100% confident on my analysis of it in the first place. That's probably one of the reasons I didn't want to take it. But also, it was getting to the evening, and keep in mind, I wake up just before 4 a.m. To go to work, so I'm already thinking about going to bed and sort of winding down at this time of the evening anyway on the Thursday. So I'm not really keeping an eye on setups like that, even though Euro Aussie moves overnight as well as during London session as well, because it's an Australian pair, you know, which is something I'm not really used to because I've only just recently added it into my trading list, really. So I'll also show you that trade that I've missed, which is quite unfortunate. But let's start off by going on to Forex Factory, and I'll show you what the NFP news did for us today. So here we are on Forex Factory, and as you can see, the NFP actually came out negative. Both unemployment rate and the actual NFP came out red for the US dollar, meaning it should give US dollar weakness. Now, it didn't really do that. It was quite a mixed reaction. It sort of went all over the place. Now, let's close this, go on the charts. So now we are back on the charts. Let's start on EU. Now, I want to actually show you something. Do you remember, if any of you have been here for a while, remember this is the structure I've been looking at on the daily. This is the structure. And I've been saying time and time again now, for this push, I'm expecting another push. And it's giving it. Look at that. It is giving it. Now, the only issue here at this very moment is that there hasn't really been any setups. This is a flat that a lot of people in the We Trade Waves group have been noticing, which is this push and this corrective structure. Now, this corrective structure would have been more ideal if it broke this top here, then came down like it did before giving a buy setup. But it didn't do that, and I think we just have to accept it at this point that this is a contracting flat, and we are finished this, and we are now going to the upside. That is why this big move is taking place. Now, on the daily, you can see it's already pushed a significant amount up, and it's a little bit unfortunate I couldn't get in this because of this. This setup basically is something that not a lot of people really wanted to see, but also most people don't really trade these types of things either because they're very messy and they're not very high probable win rates, to be honest with you. But in times like this, when you have a big daily move, I guess they can occur. And on the lower time frames, there aren't really any setups here because this is just one big move up, basically, which is unfortunate. So on EU, as I've said time and time again, looking for buys. Now, it is pushing up very, very nicely. Now, can I buy from this level? Not really. I need to wait for some sort of bigger, slow correction to this push up before I can actually get into the market. Now, ideally, I could technically try scalp and sell it. Very shortly, I could like sell it like this, and for one more drop, then that buy would come. But that is a little bit more risky. Instead, I probably should just be focusing on the buy setups on EU. Let's go over to pound Japanese yen. Now, this one is an absolute mess. This is so complex. It is actually insane. But overall, obviously, you guys know, I mean, some of you won't. It depends on the mix of viewers I get on this video. I was in a sell from this position, and I was meant to be holding it around this level, actually. And the reason I didn't is because how messy it started moving here, so I closed it around this level, right? And instead, we actually got a bigger structure like so. And I believe we're actually going to go more downside at the moment. So what does that basically mean? So if I zoom in a little bit, even on the 15-minute, you can actually see it. So this is my last push down at the moment. And what I'm basically looking for this push is some sort of corrective structure, which I think we actually are getting in the making. So any point below this level that this comes, I want to see it push up one more time to either the 50 fib, 61 or the 70. So either of these would be absolutely amazing and get a reaction from. Now, if I get a reaction from either of those three, I'll definitely be looking to sell it for one more drop, taking this low here. Now, I need to actually take it because I've said that to you guys now. If it does do that and I don't take it, you guys will know and you can hold me accountable. Euro Australian dollar. This is the one that really annoyed me. So what I was basically looking for as my structure. So what I can see here is this is my last push, which is a running flat, like so. This is my impulse, and this is my running flat for more upside. So that means this leg from here to here is actually my last impulse, right? Because this is my correction, this is my last impulse. So this is my last impulse here. So what I'm basically doing at this point, I'm fibbing from here to the top, and it came to the 71 fib, as you can see right here, and it gave a nice little reaction. Now, this reaction actually came after we got this expansion flat for this push up, which I think is actually very clear because the internals of it are also very clear as well, which I do like to see. And it gave an entry, multiple different entries I could have taken on the 15-minute, and I was even looking and doing it. And I mean, it's all good saying in hindsight now I could have taken it, but look at the time that it was actually at. It was 6:45, which is the candle opened, and it closed at 7 p.m. So I would have had to been taking it when I was actually close to sort of thinking about going to sleep, basically. So if I actually did take this trade, which obviously it's not really good to look at these types of things, but obviously at the moment it is doing very, very well, which is fine. I mean, I didn't take it. It is what it is. We just have to move past it, basically. So now I'm going to talk about the actual trades I have taken this week, and they've been all on gold, which is a bit weird because I have been very anti-gold, I would say, for most of my trading time. But I have taken 2 trades on this, both of them buys. One was a loss and one was a win. So the first loss I took, if I clear all this actually, so I can draw it out for you to make it a little bit more clear. Delete all this. What I was basically expecting, we go to the 1 hour time frame. So this is my corrective structure here on the bigger degree here for a push up, right? So on the 15-minute or the 1 hour, I'll draw it on the 1 hour for you. What I was basically looking for is this could potentially be already a complete flat, like so, for this push, meaning we're actually ready to go to the upside, right? It did push, but then after it pushed, it broke the top and then immediately dropped, and it broke this last low one more time. So I basically changed this bias into an expansion flat instead. And at this point, because of my initial bias, which was this, I actually took a buy around this level here. I'll go on the 15-minute. It might be a little bit clearer. And the reason I did that is because this is my corrective structure, right? That means this is my last push up. This little last leg here is my last push up. But it did give another corrective structure, right? This is what corrective structure I was looking at, which to me actually looked very clear, which I think is a very valid trade. The only thing I didn't like is how quickly it rejected this and fell straight away. Obviously, that is not the best you would want to see, but it's still valid nonetheless. So I took an entry around this level with my stop loss just below the low, with 1% risk. Now, that is quite a lot of risk for a 15-minute time frame trade, but the reason being is because this entry, I would only have to enter once. There are different strategies I use, which some you might have to enter multiple times to take multiple losses before they work. But this one, you take it once and you can risk higher but you may not get the best sniper entry essentially. But anyway, that's why I risked the 1% on that one. And then it broke down, took me out, stopped me out, 1% loss, and then immediately gave a reaction. And that's where I took a buy. So I actually bought it from, if we zoom in a little bit, I can tell you the exact level I bought it. I actually bought it from right here. This is where I got triggered in. I actually had a buy stop at this level. So I got triggered in, stop loss below this level here. And it moved quite nicely without me. Now, overnight, I woke up in the morning to see it had fallen all the way into my break even or stop loss zone, basically, which is here at the time. I wasn't set at break even at the moment, so it just went into the area and then came back out. And so basically what happened, it then continued pushing up for the rest of the day. And then at about 10 a.m., which is around this time, 10 a.m. right here. This is the time, 10 a.m. This is actually where I closed the trade. Now, I was on break from work. This is the only really opportunity I could go check MetaTrader on my phone. And the reason being is because obviously we had NFP coming out very shortly after. Now, NFP did initially give spike up, spike down, push up, push down. It's just absolute mess, right? Absolute mess. If you look at DXY, it's sort of the same. Very, very mixed reactions. It sort of just goes like that, which means the buyers and sellers are basically equal to each other, right? They're pushing each other around, but there's no clear winner at that time. So the buyer took, it actually closed around this level for a 1 to 2. Sorry, this stupid drawing I shoot. 1 to 2, risk to reward. But this one, I only actually risked 0.5% on this trade. Now, this is a lot lower than the previous one, which is 0.5% lower, obviously. But the reason being is because I could have had to try to have multiple entries, because this could have been my first entry and it could have just fell back down and gave me another entry like this. So I would have had to take in that one as well with another 0.5. So that's basically the reasoning of it being halved. And I did get out. Now, the reason I got out is because I got a bit of, I don't know if cold feet's the best way to say it, but I mean, I do fear sometimes in my trading. And I discussed this with some of my close friends that I speak to in Discord quite a lot, that I'm scared almost to trade. It's very, very bad, but you can't have emotions in trading. So I basically need to say to myself, take the trade. Just like on Euro Aussie, take this trade. I looked at it happening, but because of the time of the day I was winding down, I wasn't confident on my analysis of this, even though I was looking at it for, I mean, pretty much an entire day to come, and I was waiting for this to set up. And it played out, and it gave basically a 8 or 9 to 1 risk to reward, which would have gave me an insane amount of profit, but I just didn't take it. But that's all in hindsight, obviously, because if this did this, right, I entered that, and then it went up like that, and then just fell back down, and I lost it, I could then think the opposite way, and I could think to myself, why did I take that trade? Which is not the correct mentality. You need to be positive, win or loss. It's the decision making, which is actually the key important part, which I think is very, very important to analyze about yourself and be very, very self-aware as well. Now, I'm trying my best to be self-accountable in my own trading and really trying my best to basically break through and get this challenge done. Now, I don't want to rush it and force trades. That's not what I want to do, but I want to not be scared to take trades. Like the Euro Aussie one I just pointed out. I could see it and I planned on it for almost a day, but because I wasn't 100% confident on my analysis, basically, I got cold feet and didn't take it. And that's kicked me in the arse because it's now gone without me and done a 1 to 9, you know, where the other trades I do take, which I have confidence on, don't do as well. So I just trust my gut, trust what I see, and actually execute. And yeah, hopefully this will all be done soon. And before you know it, I'll be flying in private jets and showing you around my beautiful mansion tour. But until that day, I'm going to keep working my minimum wage job and keep grinding this FTMO challenge. Now, guys, I actually really do apologize. I completely closed out the video and actually forgot to add in the FTMO account. So I'm going to log into it now and show you it basically. So here we are. Let's hop into the account and scroll down a little bit. Ignore my notifications. 1.21% up on the account. Now, these are the two trades I took. As you can see, 7th and 6th, one day after each other. And as you can see, they made me break even for the week. This first one was the 1% loss I took, which is unfortunate. And this is the one that I risked 0.5% on, but then it actually turned into that 1% gain because it was a 1 to 2 risk to reward. Now, obviously, if I risked 1% on this one, I would have made profit this week, but I shouldn't have risked 1% on that one, especially because it's 15-minute time frame. It's very, very risky if you're doing that. But I am still in profit. I want to show you this. This account is insane to me. Look at the year I started this account on. Look at the year now. It's now 2025. It's insane. It's actually insane how long I've been doing this. Over a year. A year and how many months? 4 months? It's insane. I bet a lot of people are interested by some of the stats I have on this. I have 106 trading days on this account. Haven't blown any rules. I'm quite good at my rules I take. Number of trades, 238 trades. Average risk to reward, 1.45. Now, do keep in mind, this challenge has been through probably about 5 different trading styles because I've been doing it such a long time. So these statistics, to be honest with you, aren't very accurate to my current trading style. So win rate is negative, which is fine because of the risk to reward. But yeah, keep in mind, again, this is because of how long I've been doing it, basically. I wonder if I can see the pairs I trade. Here you go, buy, sell. I've actually gained 12,000 from buying and negative 10,000 from selling, which I think is very interesting. If you look at the pairs as well, which I think is very funny to look at, because I've gone through a lot of different pairs during my trading journey and things like that. And as you can see, these are all the pairs that I've traded at some point on this account. Now, that may seem like a lot to some of you, or it may not seem like a lot. But to me, it is a lot of pairs. And obviously, some of them have done better than others. Like some of these you'll never even seen on this channel. Like pound New Zealand dollar, I never showed on this channel. US dollar CAD, I never showed on this channel. Euro pound, again. Pound Swiss. Like some of these, actually, now I think about all of these, all of these ones, I've never shown on this channel. Ever. I've been looking at pound Japanese yen recently, but I still haven't taken a trade in it, so it's not on this list yet. So out of these, actually most of these, you guys never see me trade. So please do keep that in mind before you judge these statistics. A lot of this is all undocumented from me battling myself basically over this long period of time. But yeah, I hope this is very interesting information for you to see. I apologize for the rant. Quite a lot to get off my chest this week, but I appreciate you stopping by. I really do love all the support you give me. It absolutely means the world to me to read the comments every single week. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you dislike it. That's not a problem at all. Been Glaze, and I'll catch you again on the following week.